On the sidelines of the forum, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres spoke with CGTN's Tian Wei. They talked about his call to deepen ties between the United Nations and China.
We are moving into a multipolar world. We need to work together to have that multipolar world have an harmonious architecture. On the other hand, a multipolar world needs multilateral governance. So multipolarity in itself doesn't solve all problems. We need to have multilateral institutions, and the institutions we have today are not yet fully adapted to that reality. So we need to be able to reform them. And we need to be able to find what kind of set of rules we need for the future, not to abolish what we have now. And the Chinese government already said, President Xi Jinping already said that China wants to play a role in this build-up of the reform of the global governance system. And this is also a central interest for the UN. And so the cooperation between China and the UN is an obvious request to make things move.
Mr. Secretary-General, the whole picture you have just described about where the world to go, and how does China-Africa cooperation fall into the overall picture?
So the China-Africa Summit and the Forum are two very important instruments in order to make sure that we increase the support of China to the African development, and at the same time that we are able, as UN, to support Africans to take profit as much as possible from Chinese cooperation. So we need to support African countries for an African-led development and to be able to fully take profit of the enormous effort that China is now doing from the point of view of development cooperation in general, through the Belt and Road and in Africa.
Mr. Secretary-General, some have been suggesting that the 2030 Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, by the United Nations are beautiful 17 grand goals. And yet, we all understand, they say, there are enormous amount of challenges to achieve them.
These goals are concrete. Reduce poverty is the most important of the goals. To reduce poverty, you need to invest. Invest in infrastructure, invest in industry, invest in agriculture. I mean, that's what development cooperation can help African countries do. So the goals are very ambitious. It is true. We are not yet moving fast enough to reach them, but they are concrete. And the initiatives of the cooperation that we see between Africa and China are very much linked to these goals, and we need to make sure that they are developed in such a way that they contribute in the maximum possible way to the success of the agenda.